There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is John. This is my channel, The Origin Factory. It is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. And today we're going to go over, I got my anodizing back for my Vanquish H10 Origin project. So I was going to cover that a little bit and show the progress and talk a little bit about that. But before I get into all that, I want to thank our subscribers. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're willing to do so, it'd be greatly appreciated, because that's what helps us out the most as a new channel. If you're subscribed already, if you could continue to support us by either like, commenting, or sharing. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook as The Origin Factory. So last week we did get the anodizing back for our Vanquish H10 Origin, and I go through a large anodizing shop. They're a commercial shop. I mean, they do large volume stuff. They do firearms, aircraft parts, medical stuff, whatever. They do it for, newly manufactured parts for the most part. So they're not exactly, they don't, they do allow me to do some stuff with them. I'm grateful that they do, but it's not something they really want to do. I could say it that way, They got a pretty high minimum charge. It's $250 per color, $250 US. So whether it's one piece, 10 piece, 20 pieces, 50 pieces, it could still be in that $250 range. So generally when I do it, I save up parts and run a batch of color at the same time and try to get my per piece cost down. Meaning, if I have 50 parts, at $250, that's $5 a piece. That's much easier to choke on than spending, get two pieces done for $250 and have $125 each. See what I'm saying? So I will reach out to friends and anybody else and see if anybody else needs color anodizing done at the time, just to try and offset some of that. Because, there are independent shops that do it per piece and it's much less. But this being a big shop, they just do a minimum charge per color. And I mean, I've done as many as 60 pieces and still not hit the minimum. So it's based on how big the pieces are too. So being with the, radio control parts, wheels and whatever else, all these little pieces that we have, they're very small. So I've never exceeded the minimum charge yet. So yeah, like I said, I try to run a bunch at once. So this is my cage for my H10 before it got anodized. So I had to strip it down into individual pieces because this is an assembly. There's left side, right side, roof support, cross member behind the driver's seat, and there's that cross member at the rear that has the VIN number, and then there's the black piece. So all that stuff's got to be removed into individual pieces before you bring it. So I got them back, and there is my cage now blue. And answer the question right away, why did I do blue when Vanquish offered blue? Well, I have multiple pieces I was doing, and I wanted to make sure all the colors matched. And I had beadlock rings, as you can see in this picture, rod ends, because this kit comes with some raw ends for the steering linkage on the axle. And so I threw those in there too, just to get them to match the blue. And then I got beadlock rings. So this is the cage after we put it back together. There's the axles assembled. Those are in gray now. And you can see the rod ends on the front axle there. I really like the gray. It's such a nice color. I mean, I really wish, if Vanquish, you're listening, that's the one thing I get the most response on, is the gray. People love the gray axles, and Vanquish used to offer that. Don't know if they ever will again, but man, people really love the gray axles. I get more questions about the gray axles than anything else. So I know Vanquish watches me once in a while. If you're watching now, there's a little inside advice for you guys, that people would love to see gray axles again. There's where I'm at right now with the skid and the suspension and the transmission. Got that assembled this weekend. So we're just about ready to put some electronics in there, servo, a motor, and so we can put it up in the cage. So we're not too far away from getting it on wheels. Let's see, what's the next picture I got up here? So this is the other pieces I did along with this project. So these are Spec RC wheels. If you're not familiar with Spec RC, check him out on Facebook. He's got his own page. And then of course there's the Spec RC fan page where you can buy and sell used, Spec RC wheels. So Spec RC wheels usually are in raw, meaning no anodizing at all. And no anodizing at all, they don't have much protection from corrosion or any type of damage. Anodizing actually makes the surface a little tougher, a little more scratch resistant. Plus it adds color, and it just makes, anodizing is more for adding durability to it than anything. Color is just kind of the bonus part of it. So it's, because aluminum's a fairly soft metal. And so I'm going to keep, these 3 sets of wheels here. I'm going to keep 1 set of wheels for myself. The other 2 sets are probably going to end up for sale. Since Spec RC sells most of their wheels raw, and some people are intimidated by, getting that stuff done, anodizing or cerakoting or whatever. It seems like wheels that are coated already sell a little easier, as long as it's a color that people are happy with, and gray's pretty neutral. So that covers a lot of bases. So part of this anodizing bill will hopefully be paid by selling off 2 of these sets of wheels. Let's see, what's the next picture? Oh, so I've also been working on a VS410 Origin. So it's in a rolling chassis right now. I now need to get a body painted for it. I haven't figured out a paint scheme yet. But if you look here, this has got the Vanquish X-rays on it with blue beadlocks. I'll do a close-up picture of it. And I think I'm going to leave the X-rays on that Origin. I really like the looks of it. There's a close-up of the new Vanquish X-ray. So this is currently only available if you purchase an H10 Origin, and this is the wheel that comes with it. You get to choose color. There's multiple colors. Most of the, well, I shouldn't say, if you choose other than clear or black for the cage or the body panels, there's an upcharge of $99. But the wheels can be any of the colors with no upcharge. So you don't get charged any extra for any of the wheel colors. And they have the same wheel colors as they do for the panels and the cage. And you can find out more on their website about that. So so this is a close-up of the X-ray. Like I said, I think I'm going to leave that on the Origin. I'll show you what I'm going to do, or the VS410 Origin. Here's what I'm going to do with my H10 Origin. So those are also Spec RC wheels. I'll move that up to the corner, get that out of the way a little bit. Anyways, so those are Spec RC wheels. Those are raw, and I'm going to leave them raw so they have that polished chrome look. And that's one thing I don't like about anodizing. The only way you can get that polished look out of aluminum generally is to chrome plate them. So if you use clear anodizing, you've seen clear anodizing. That's, like Vanquish uses a lot on their axle. Most Vanquish axles are clear, some are black, but for the majority they're clear. And it just has that kind of textured silvery look. You don't get any shine out of it. So this being, it's chrome plating. That's another thing, trying to find somebody that chrome plates or that would be willing to accommodate you on a small bundle like this. So so we're just going to leave them raw and keep them polished as best we can, because, aluminum exposed to the elements, it does get damaged more easily. It gets, scratched, and, and it's susceptible to getting stained from, chemicals or water and stuff like that. So it's not very durable, the polish finish, by itself. So it's, and that's why Vanquish doesn't really sell anything raw, because it's not a very durable finish for aluminum. Aluminum does develop a natural oxide layer on its own. which gives it some protection, but when you anodize it, it gives it much better protection from the elements, from being scratched and being stained by anything. So yeah, I'm going to leave those raw, and I'm going to put those X-rays on the VS410 Origin project. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. So this thing is going to, like I said, this thing's going to be on its wheels pretty soon, which I'm excited to get it on the wheels. It'd be fun to get this together. Yeah, it's not too far away. I mean, it'll be on wheels this week. It's just a couple days left to, a couple little bit of work here and there, but we're going to try and come up with the livery. The livery's been another thing. I'm not a graphics guy. I've got ideas, but I have to get my graphics guy to put it to vinyl. So that's another thing I got to work on. The livery, that's the reason why there is a blue cage. The blue cage is to match, I'm not going to give it away yet, but a livery that I'm probably going to do for the body panels, and it'll tie it all together. I mean, it looks pretty good, the blue and the black right now, but the livery will just be that little bit of extra to bring it all together, I think. So yeah, that's where we're at with the H10 Origin. Yeah, anodizing, it's a little bit intimidating going out there and trying to find a vendor. I've seen guys recently looking around on the groups on Facebook asking for referrals and stuff, and I haven't seen any new names come up lately. And I mean, you can try to go through a big shop in your area, do a Google search and look for an anodizing shop locally and meet with them and see if they're willing to accommodate you doing a small project, or maybe you have a lot of pieces. But yeah, by all means, check it out on your own. But right now it seems like we don't really have a small independent guy that's doing RC stuff that everybody's recommending right now. It seems like everybody's pretty busy. Another way to look for an anodizer is people that do like paintball guns. That's another little niche industry where that's somebody that might be willing to accommodate RC parts. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt right now to find an anodizer. Cerakoting and powder coating is much easier to find somebody doing that right now. And I really don't care for Cerakoting because it's kind of tough to remove sometimes, and you can damage the aluminum, and then you got to go back and do repair work. And whereas the anodizing is more of a chemical strip process, you can strip the color right off of it and then reuse it. Pretty easy to change the colors up on it. So anyways, yeah, that's about all I got right now. I'll do another update on the H10 Origin project when we're ready to roll. Got her on wheels again, and we've been doing a live stream lately once a week. Don't have a nailed down date yet. I've been doing it with Rob from Extreme Toys, and it's been a lot of fun. We're kind of feeling it out right now and trying to figure out our place and where we should be and learning the ropes a little bit, but we've been having a good time. If you got, by all means, check that out too. See if that's kind of content you're interested also. So I guess that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're willing to do so, it'd be greatly appreciated. That's what helps us out the most as a new channel. If you're subscribed already, if you continue to support us by either like, commenting, or sharing, you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook as The Origin Factory. So that's about it for now, guys. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.